Port-au-Port Peninsula. A very large, very musical family of brothers and sisters. Now in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, they remain close. Their past, present, and futures bound forever by their French heritage and musical connections. When the Cornects made their first appearance at the St. John's Folk Festival last summer, they seemed to strike just the right note with their audience. And it wasn't a traditional Newfoundland note. It was a blend of Spanish-American, country and western, hillbilly and French. The music of their past, the music of Port-au-Port. The tiny fishing community of Mainland has been home to the Cornect family for generations. And the Cornect home was home to everyone. Vince, Kevin, Ron, and Clyde, the brothers who play most often together, are just 4 of 11 children. They were all musical, and family gatherings inevitably meant a party. That hasn't changed. On this balmy August evening, 9 of the Cornect brothers and sisters have gathered for a soiree, an evening of song and dance and reminiscence.
When we were growing up, that's all we had was music. We had no electricity, and we had a guitar. So usually on Sundays, children from around, that's where they come to our place, and we go behind the house. I remember that. And we'd play, they'd play, and we'd sing.
Clyde says it began with a mail-order guitar owned by his oldest brother, John, who now lives in Halifax.
I don't know how much he paid for. Not very much, from Simpson Sears somewhere. And it went really down the line, Ronnie, Dolphy, and it just one after the other. But then we started involving more instruments, but definitely it started from the oldest brother.
And before that, their father, William, who died 2 years ago. A musician, they say, was better than all of them put together.
He was a very talented individual. He used to play all kinds of different instruments, and he really encouraged, the music in the family,
I was told by older people around, that he could play for square dance around. And while they were dancing, he was playing, and he could hold on a conversation about how the fishery was that certain day or that certain week.
Can you do that?
No, I'm not that good.
And they say it was their father who introduced the mandolin to the Port-au-Port Peninsula. It wasn't a traditional Newfoundland instrument, but then the music in Port-au-Port wasn't completely traditional either. When the Cornects grew up, radio had a big influence. That was centered in Stephenville, and Stephenville was influenced by its American Air Force base.
Most of the music we used against radio stations before, when I was growing up, about 10, 12, 14, 15 years old, was from the States, from West Virginia. So that's why we are more, like we'd say, almost like New Brunswick, more American music than we are Newfoundland music.
If somebody asked you to describe the kind of music that you play, what is it? What do you play?
A little bit of mixture of
everything.
Country and Western, bluegrass, Scotch, French, with a little French of energy shoved into it.
And it's French energy in motion when the Cornect sisters start to step dance. The public performance they leave mostly to their brothers. But in a setting like this, the floor is theirs. And that French energy, that joie de vivre, is a big part of who they all are. Their grandfather, their father's father, came from France, and that French heritage is all important. It's a big part of their music, and music will always be a big part of their lives.
Before, when we were teenagers, it was more like making money, like playing for band players and, making money on the... But now, it's the festival, we meet all these other musicians, mixed with our friends, and it's most like, now associating now with,
Part of your culture.
Yeah, right.
Brings back a lot of memories, and enjoy it. The more you to play, the more you enjoy it. It seems to me the older I get, the more I enjoy it. The music keeps us together, right? More than anything else, really. And it's a wonderful thing.
The brothers plan to keep playing the festival and concert circuit as long as the invitations keep coming in. But if the public were to lose interest tomorrow, the Cornects would play on.
It's the love of music that counts, right? You know, it doesn't really matter to us if we play here or there, as long as we play.
From the oldest to the youngest, playing is as natural as breathing, as much a part of their way of life as the beauty that surrounds them, as much a part of their future as the setting sun that will rise again in the morning. I guess the family that